Yeah, it's actually very interesting because Antwerp has always played a major role when it comes to connecting the rest of the world, right? What you just mentioned with the port, can you maybe elaborate a little bit more about the history of the port and the role it played in the past before we move on to the smart and new mobility and the role that Antwerp is playing now?
In fact, our port is born in the early 16th century when Bruges was going slower because the sea was going away from Bruges, and it moved to Antwerp also with some trade people that moved to Antwerp and started here to trade in Antwerp. It was one of the biggest ports for Portuguese sailors who brought in goods from the new worlds. Antwerp was a port where they brought a lot of those goods because Antwerp was also very interesting to deliver then the goods further in the European era. And that's still what we are doing. We are, for instance, Antwerp is the most important port for France because a lot of goods that go to France or come from France and go to the world pass through the port area of Antwerp. So you see that this history is still very important, and there were some times that the Netherlands, for instance, closed the River Scheldt, and on that moment you saw also that the welfare in Antwerp was going down, that people were fleeing out of Antwerp, going to Amsterdam. That became then the new port area, together with Rotterdam in the Netherlands, and in fact they are born, let's say, more or less out of Antwerp when there were troubles in Antwerp. It was the war against the Spanish conquistors.
Okay, I see.
So and still we are a very important, like you said, connecting point to the rest of the world. Together with our, let's say, sister port, Rotterdam. Antwerp and Rotterdam are really the ports of Europe to provide Europe of a lot of goods.